So we left off with a gang about to hold a fake seance to convince Stella to stay away from Windward. Let's see what happens.
Is anybody here?
Do you think the actors are doing that, or do you think there's like a magnet or something?
Oh, it's the actors.
Are you my mother? You don't want me to stay away from Windward, do you, Mother? Oh, I knew it, Mother. Is that why you stay here, just to be near me? But you're holding it, Rick. And you, Dr. Scott, holding it hard. Take your fingers off.
I, G, U, A, I guard.
You mean you guard me from some danger?
C, A, R, M.
Carmel. That's enough.
It is indeed.
Let's go into the other room.
Yeah, at that point, you know, it's not your imagination.
Yeah.
Horgan.
Stop her, Scott.
She's in a trance. It may be best to try and reach her mind. Now keep your voice quiet and reassuring.
Are you Mary Meredith, Stella's mother?
Ayanoe. Ayanoe. Noli crena. Noli panganoido ketaming tiendo.
Rick, the mimosa scent. Mary Meredith's in here, too. The cold.
Any idea where Mimosa
Never been cold
is
in here.
from?
Look at the candles.
Like where it's indigenous?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Stop, Pamela. Don't go near that door.
It's okay.
It's coming towards
I mean,
us.
it's unmistakable. It's really quite well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over the top. It's subtle.
Yeah, it's
What
subtle.
in thunder is this?
Oops.
What have you been doing to the child?
Quietly, Stella, quietly. There's nothing to be frightened of.
Control yourself, child. Don't speak to her like that.
Now you sleep all right.
I like Dr. Scott.
Yeah.
Stella is no longer your patient, nor am I.
Someone got fired. So that, I mean, the painting is
That painting's
big,
not so big. The one in Holloway's office.
that we haven't seen yet, yeah.
No, we saw that one.
Not up close.
No, not
Just
up
in
close, but we
passing.
saw the scale.
Won't you come in, Miss Holloway?
It's still a big painting.
Hello, Stella.
Miss Holloway.
Go to sleep, Stella.
So she was Mom's BFF back in the day.
Yeah.
How did she happen to be at Windward?
The people who bought the place are searching into its past.
Are they indeed?
Can you make the child well again?
I hope so.
She won't want to go with you, I'm afraid. She's never outgrown her childish fear of you. No, her place was here in Mary's home. I've taught her to be like Mary in every way.
How can you say such a thing?
Well, she's not so beautiful, of course.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah.
How this room brings her back to me. We were no silly, giggling girls. We intended to conquer life.
Yeah, she's just stark and severe.
I think there was an unrequited
So they're searching into the past.
Oh,
love. I mean, I think she loved Mary,
yeah.
but Mary was married and had a
Find
child.
out, my darling.
Yeah, the whole thing,
I mean, I don't know if that's just like, you know, do they want you to think that there's some like lesbian subtext going on, or
according to Paramount, there was nothing like that intended.
yeah,
That didn't stop audiences from
inferring.
yeah. Hayes, as in the Hayes Code.
I mean, I don't think it's like, you know, Mrs. Danvers and Rebecca. It's not like,
Yeah, Hayes from the Hayes Code
yeah.
was had complained to Paramount that a number
I
of
promise you, from now on,
unsavory
we're through with
people
all
were
this rubbish. We're
routinely
going after
viewing it
facts.
at odd hours.
This
Facts about
movie?
this blasted
Yes.
haunting.
Rick,
God forbid.
why Red and Lizzie with this?
Wish now, Miss Pam. Where will we start, Mr. Rick?
I don't know. Everybody seems to be dead.
The trained nurse isn't.
Oh,
What trained nurse?
okay. Well, yeah,
You hear
trust
all
all the
this.
servants to gossip.
Now, what
Oh,
do you
yeah.
suppose we talk of at the Jessops? It was the trained nurse that shouted down to Mr. Jessup on the shore.
Was Jessup in on the tragedy?
He was after some lost sheep. And as he passed under the dead tree, he heard a scream. It was the scream of a terrified child.
If we could only get the name of this nurse.
Ah, sure, that's easy. Wait now. Mr. Jessup, what was the name of Mrs. Meredith's trained nurse? The one that got so famous and grand?
Miss Holloway.
She's a big, fine place of her own now. A hospital-like. It is on Bodmin Moor.
Bodmin Moor.
Bodmin Moor. Such a cheerful...
Well, I mean, Bodmin is slang for
bedlam.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a very soothing
No.
ambiance for like a... people taking a rest
For a
here.
sanatorium.
Yeah, not very cozy.
The place is quite stunning, isn't it?
Why are you whispering?
Why are you?
A gentleman. How very unusual.
There must not be any guy patients.
Are you by any chance waiting to see Miss Holloway?
Yes, we have an appointment.
What lucky people. And what luck for me, too, because I'm sure you won't mind.
Or
But
perhaps you will.
This isn't my day for an interview, and I want her to have these.
What are they? Bird's eggs?
Oh, but that's very funny, because you see, I'm Miss Bird. They're just little stones, because she likes simple things.
Yeah, she likes simple things. Like a giant castle masquerading as a hospital.
Don't forget.
Yeah,
She's a little bit of comic relief.
Yeah.
Like the maid at the house with the lamb.
Oh, I was asked to give you these by a Miss Bird, I believe.
Oh, poor Miss Bird. Our saddest case. They're really very fine stones, aren't
And
they?
apparently HIPAA isn't a
I must
thing.
remember to thank her for them.
Our
Comes
saddest
to me
case.
once a week for a little chat. We know so very little of your work. Is it with mental patients? Oh, not patients, Miss Fitzgerald, just guests. In a way, this is like a hotel, where there are beautiful things to look at, music to hear, and a little sympathy.
Would you stay in a hotel like that?
No. No.
Mary Meredith was the finest human being I ever knew.
Is that she?
Yes. And Carmel? I never saw such intensity of evil. She was a Spanish gypsy, crafty, cruel. She and Meredith took the girl to Paris, left her well supplied with money. Then they came back here with their baby. Carmel came back. She still wanted Mary's husband.
A neighbor of ours spoke of something we can't quite understand. He mentions a child crying on the cliff that night.
That's a part of the story so ugly I've never mentioned it before. That night, the girl Carmel had been told she must leave Windward. She went into the nursery, picked up their baby, and raced to the cliff. Carmel reached the cliff by the dead tree. For a moment, I saw them struggling. Then Carmel raised her arm and struck Mary down.
Then it was murder.
The will to kill had always been there, I think. Directed against Stella. Can that be what survives?
Maybe that accounts for Stella's queer business on the cliff. Something in that house drove her out toward the edge. And if I hadn't caught her, she'd have gone over.
Would she indeed? How very curious.
Well, she's not outright dismissing the supernatural,
Yeah.
potential. And actually, even the commander doesn't dismiss it.
No, in fact, he
knows.
very much acknowledges it.
Next morning, she crawled back in the early stages of pneumonia. I fought for Carmel's life day and night, hating her all the time.
I think it's interesting that it's Mary Meredith and just Meredith. They call him by his
last name.
name.
That could get confusing, though, if they called her Mrs. Meredith.
Who told Carmel she must go?
Why, Mary... I should say Meredith. It's the one decent thing I ever knew him to do.
Yeah, I don't think we know his first name.
Yeah.
Her outfit is kind of different. It's very, like...
Monkish.
Kind of, yeah. It's very, like, robish, yeah. I mean, it's fashionable and you know that it's expensive, but the style is very distinctive. You don't imagine that she's going to run into anybody else wearing her same dress at a party.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
I want to say Edith Head did the costumes for this movie. She's a famous
I've been asking for you all
Hollywood
day.
costumer.
Okay.
I'm being treated as though I were insane. My door's kept locked, and there's a queer look in their eyes.
Oh, you feel persecuted. About the cliff at Windward, Stella.
That slightly accusatory, oh, you feel persecuted.
Yeah, like let's just like she's a bug and she's getting ready to pin her.
I just went in that direction.
In fact, you don't quite know.
Why do you hate me, Miss Holloway?
See?
You see?
You do.
You do.
You do feel persecuted.
That's a catch-22.
Oh, it's a gotcha.
Yeah.
You think she was lying to us?
About the past? Why should she?
Well, she wasn't going to tell us about the baby angle. And later she made that one break.
Admitting it was Mary who told Carmel to go.
But why try to hide it? Made me like Mary rather better, as a matter of fact. I was getting awfully bored with her perfection.
Why should Miss Holloway want to turn her into a plaster saint?
Maybe she likes plaster saints. She's one herself.
Thank you, Doctor.
And I assure you that when that healthy young man laughs, he isn't being delirious.
Oh, the joys of a country doctor.
Where have you been all day?
To the middle of Bodmin Moor and back.
Seeing a Miss Holloway.
What, Holy Holloway of wealth through harmony?
What do you know about her?
Nothing really, except that
Well,
She says Carmel killed Mary Meredith. Could we talk to Dr. Rudd about her?
only if we have another seance. I wonder.
What?
Come on upstairs.
From his handwriting, Dr. Rudd must have been 200 years old.
Measles, 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 whooping cough, measles, appendicitis.
Pleasant change for the old boy.
pre-vaccines.
Here we are. Call to Windward House. Meredith's model, Carmel Quesada, double pneumonia. Quesada girl much worse. No attempt to warm the bedroom. Found traces of snow on the floor. Returned to Windward this evening. Patient dead.
Miss Holloway murdered Carmel.
Doctor,
In a quiet, ladylike way.
doctor,
Is Edith?
it's the commander. Took awful bad, the maid says.
So suddenly he's not fired anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's the only doctor in town,
Or the nearest doctor.
true.
The first doctor.
First house in the village.
Yeah.
I undid his shoes. It was all I knew how to do.
Lizzie, I promise you, we'll do nothing tonight that the priest wouldn't approve of.
Oh, Lord bless you, Mr. Rick. I was hoping you'd say that. I'll go and get my hat and coat.
My cat and coat.
Before you take a sip, don't you smell mimosa?
Strongest hair.
It's almost overpowering. I wish you'd tell us what you want, Mary Meredith.
Oh, Mr. Rick.
It's like, dude,
Yes?
I'm right here.
Well, I'm glad to find you here.
Hello, Scott. How's the commander?
It's not him I'm worried about. It's Stella. She's at Miss Holloway's.
We can't let her stay there. We've got to get her out tonight.
Jailbreak.
The idea of her spending an hour in that place is horrible.
We've no authority
Then
whatever.
we'll do it without.
Shall we take the case book? Might be able to frighten her with it.
Yes.
Oh, it's no bother at all, Miss Fitzgerald. I'll be glad to see you again. In 2 hours.
Yeah, that door
What do you think,
is.
my dear?
Medieval.
Come in.
Yeah. It's like, what in the Ren Fair is that thing?
I've been giving your problem the most serious consideration, Stella.
It's not much of a problem. I just want to go home.
To your grandfather's. You've never been very happy there. Where would you really like to be?
You mean Windward?
It's interesting that they have her in soft focus. That's usually kind of the young ingenue thing.
Or like, well, maybe it's to be like sympathetic.
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah, it is.
believable.
Because everything else about her is very severe. She's
Very-
got the shoulders
Yeah.
and the demeanor.
Isn't your grandfather's not to know that you've left here?
Are we starting to get
You
the
must go
idea that
straight to Windward.
she's maybe a little tightly strung?
Miss Holloway?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My car will take you to the station.
She spent her lifetime being serious.
Yeah.
That,
I mean, for women at that time, it's not like she had a lot of
yeah. Yeah,
a
to
lot
have,
of
to have
career
a place,
options.
to have a place like that is
And if she
impressive.
trained as a nurse, that was one of the few.
Announce you.
Don't
Careers.
bother, we'll announce her ourselves. Why didn't you tell us Stella Meredith was here?
The presence of my guests is always confidential.
We've come to take her away.
This is Stella's doctor. Oh, I begin to understand. This is a rescue party. You know those moments when the light is very clear? When the scales at last swing into perfect balance?
She is not in perfect balance.
No.
She's on the train for Biddlecombe, the 9:20.
On her way home.
She went to her grandfather's?
No,
Not the Windward house.
better than that. To the cliff and the rocks below the cliff. That's where Mary went. That's where she died. I've done what she wanted at last.
Yeah, she went from tightly wound to
It's
broken
all straight
clock.
now.
Or to, yeah.
There are no frayed edges.
Everything's
No loose
smooth.
ends. All straight.
All smooth.
All smooth.
It's subtle. You know, that her unhinginess.
These local trains are very slow, you know.
I mean, by the end, it's like, oh yeah.
Because she's not a really big character.
But yeah, you see this
Yeah.
very
rigid.
Well, you see this decline.
Yeah.
And
the professional, upstanding, proud to, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, send
be all right,
young women to their
yes.
death intentionally.
right now.
Because that's
I'll
what
be
she
with my
knows.
friend.
She thinks that's what she's doing. Stella doesn't know that.
yeah.
But Miss Holloway also acknowledges the supernatural, that there's some shit going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pamela? Rick?
Would you go up those stairs?
Under these circumstances,
No.
no.
Grandfather!
Stella, my child.
Grandfather, what's the matter? What are you doing here?
Someone telephoned. From Miss Holloway's. Go!
You can't be left alone.
But the danger is for you.
I'm not afraid of anything here.
Then be afraid. Be afraid for heaven's sake.
Why didn't he stay downstairs?
Maybe it was like he was compelled to, or...
Yeah.
Stella, go! Go!
Grandfather!
I mean, he does love her. He is, you know, doing his best.
I won't be afraid, Mother.
And I mean, how do you tell your granddaughter
That,
at
oh,
some
by the
point-
way...
Yeah, the reason you can't go there is because it's haunted by your mother who wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Or for whatever reason.
Wants you dead.
Yeah, the house wants you dead.
We've got you now, darling. Hang on.
Dr. Scott, Grandfather's in the studio. He's terribly ill.
There's nothing I can do, my dear.
She killed him just as she tried to kill me. My own mother.
It must have been Carmel.
It wasn't. Oh, Rick.
No, darling, no.
The mimosa scent. It's flooding the room.
It's all right, darling. Nothing will hurt you.
But I'm not frightened.
The book. What's doing it?
Finally, yeah.
The wind?
But what about the mimosa?
Yeah, the first time I saw this, it's like,
We're letting our
look at
imaginations
that!
play hard
Look
with us.
down.
11:15 a.m.
Ghost probably had
Mary
the same
Ann
thought.
Hardy.
Sure.
3:20 p.m. Called to Windward House to attend Meredith's model who had fainted.
Carmel had a baby, too.
5:10 p.m. Mrs. Meredith came to see me. Expected tears, hysteria. Instead, icy control and a dominating desire that the girl's condition be kept secret.
Where were you born, Stella?
In Paris?
Where they took Carmel before they came back with their baby. I think Mary adopted Carmel's child.
Mm-hmm.
Gave her a home and a name on the condition that Carmel never came back here.
But, Rick, it doesn't fit. The mimosa scent that comes with the gentle ghost, that was Mary's scent.
No, my father only wrote that it was my mother's scent.
Yeah, well, what else would he say? You know, he wouldn't say, oh, by the way, it's, you know, your other mom.
And I mean, we have no idea what Meredith looked like, but
Now
True.
I know.
Mom, you
Was
know,
very blonde.
very
yeah.
blonde versus her. Yeah.
Well, not so much that her grandfather didn't
She's happy now.
suspect. They're not related at all.
She won't
Yeah.
cry anymore.
Yeah.
She's gone forever.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Grandpa knew.
Do you think Grandpa knew?
Yeah.
I don't think Grandpa knew. Would he really raise the illegitimate child of his son-in-law's artist model girlfriend and not let anything slip, not to poison her? You know, I mean, he educated her and loved her, and
Where are you?
Yeah, it could go either way.
I mean, he obviously, but he didn't ever look at her and be like, you know, she really doesn't look like my daughter.
Face that icy rage of yours. What do you want? It's Stella, isn't it? I think you'll be on your way now, Mary Meredith. We've had enough. We're not frightened of you anymore. From now on, this house is for the living.
Like, what did I just do? What was I thinking?
Never go near those stairs before.
You're still shaking, Rick.
Well, I've had a narrow escape. She might have been my mother-in-law.
So after how many years have we been watching this? We don't even know.
Yeah.
It still stands up.
Yeah. It's still, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that we like it. You know, that.
Yeah, even knowing how it goes, how it ends, what the twists and turns are, it never gets old. It's always
a sure thing.
Yeah.
It's a good watch. We hope you've enjoyed our unscripted commentary. And if you've made it till the end, thank you.
And be sure to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.